Hello, fingerstyle friends, and we're back again. I'm Patrick, and I've been away for a while, been out of the country, been to Europe, been on vacation, all that good stuff. But here today, I'm ready to get back at it and talk about fingerstyle dynamics, or dynamics in any form of guitar playing. Now, when I say the word dynamics, a lot of you might be thinking, oh, he's going to talk about playing loud and playing soft. Well, yes, but it gets a little more complicated than that. And I'm going to go down the rabbit hole here for some good fun. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. First, just let me say that the dynamics of guitar playing can affect your tone, sound, and feel. And how you rearrange dynamics within a song can, well, make or break your song. So let me just give you an example. When I was in my 20s, still back when I was a young spring chicken, I attended a masterclass by classical guitarist, world-renowned musician Christopher Parkening. And Parkening was a student of Segovia, as if you know that classical guitar well enough to know that. In his class, he had different students get up and play classical pieces. And I sat there and watched this, and this one student in particular played this classical piece flawlessly. And I thought that Christopher, after he was done, was going to get up and say, "Bravo, well done, you played it perfectly." But Christopher sat there in silence for a few seconds, and then he said, "You know what?" He says, "You played the piece perfect, but there were no dynamics in it. It was like a straight line all the way through, no peaks and valleys, nothing interesting. So you need to really work on that." And I realized sitting there that Christopher was right. He had been thinking one step ahead of the audience the whole time. And from that moment forward, I realized that getting the dynamics right in your songs can really set you apart as a player, because so many of us focus on not making mistakes that we forget all about how to making a song really breathe, and that's what's the most important. So how do we accomplish this, you ask? Well, we can start by asking a few questions, right? So the first question I always ask, how do we really change up the mood of a song? How do we change the flow of it? How do we change the emotion in it? And I always think in terms of visuals, sun, moon, cold, hot, rain, snow, sleet, trains, planes, automobiles, big city lights, twinkling stars, that kind of thing. And all of that sounds Magoo. Yes, it does sound a little Magoo, but hang in there. There's a point to it all. All these descriptive ways of communicating on a single instrument are the meat and potatoes of dynamics. I can change up the emotion of a song however I want, but I try to clue myself in by doing this. So, for example, instead of just creating tones, create places. Instead of just thinking in terms of loud and soft, think deeper, multiple levels. So, in other words, I can play a loud chord and then a soft chord like this. Pretty mundane, right? Pretty boring. Or I can play a windy day in the state of Wyoming like this. A little less boring, a little more dramatic, perhaps, yes. And your interpretation of that may be different than mine. For example, I can play just a simple funky rhythm like this. Or I can play a train. Like that. Or I can play just play a simple barrage of notes. Versus playing fireworks. Or I can play just a simple dynamic passage like this. versus someone crying. Makes a bit of a difference, doesn't it? So these combinations of visuals in your mind are everything. Everything from shifting moods around to creating peaks and valleys to just being unpredictable. It's all about the art of emotion. As Beethoven once famously, supposedly quoted, he said, "To play a wrong note is insignificant. To play without passion is inexcusable." So I'll leave you with that, fingerstyle ladies and gents. Until next time.